Hey guys, welcome to a very special episode of the Canadian Nerd Talks. Today we will be only focusing on one thing, and that is Avengers Age of Ultron. We'll be giving our review of the movie, we'll be talking about the controversy surrounding it, and we're just gonna be having a great time. Alright guys, let's get started. Today we are here with a great crew of super geeky, opinionated people who have a lot to say about Avengers Age of Ultron. So guys, introduce yourselves.
I'm Laura. I mainly go by Lady Phoenix online for all social media, and I'm a cosplayer.
I am Michelle, and I go by Angel Michelle C on Instagram, and I am a model.
Hi, I'm Tia. I'm a host for the Canadian Nerd, and I go by Tia Meowison on YouTube.
Hey guys, I'm Spider-Man. I think everyone knows who I am. Nice to be here on the Canadian Nerd, and we're here today to talk about the Avengers too.
All right.
Oh, I'm gonna have to pull the mask, aren't I? Studio policy.
All right, guys. Avengers Age of Ultron. It's been out for a little while now. Let's do the official Canadian Nerd Talks review of the movie. Guys, what did you think of this movie? I know, Spidey, Peter, you love this movie?
I really do love it. As a fan of the films, it was incredible for me. There's just a little bit of personal confliction. Lots of legal things. Sony unfortunately did keep Spider-Man out of this one yet again. It's really difficult for me sometimes as a fan to sit back and watch the Avengers movies that for the majority part take place in New York and not picture Spider-Man getting involved in these really epic large-scale battles, especially when he's got such a guilt complex for like the smallest thing,
I did really like it. A lot of action. But I did like all the storylines as well. I'm more of a storyline kind of person. If there's too much action, I get really bored.
I'm with you on that, yeah.
I get really bored. I did like the love scene with the Hulk and Black Widow. And, I liked the family scene with the Hawkeye, because I didn't even know he had a family. I'm like, yo, that's weird. What else went on in that? I swear there was like a bunch of different flippin' mini stories in there. Tony Stark was the best, though. He brought that whole film together.
I definitely have to agree that like the side stories were kind of the most intriguing part of the movie. Like the relationship between Hulk and Black Widow and the whole thing with Hawkeye. Like I thought that was really interesting because you didn't really see any of that in the first Avengers.
There's a lot of action. I find this was more like getting to know the characters before they disappear at the end.
Absolutely, and what I really digged about too was in the first film, it kind of felt like everyone was coming from their independent movies with their origin stories. And that really, it was up to you as a Marvel fan to see those films, and that kind of presented the characters to you. In this one, whether you'd seen the last Avengers film or not, you kind of had like a ride-along experience where you really get to know the characters on another level, right? Each of them, especially with some of the stuff that the supervillains were doing to the main characters in this
Scarlet Witch. Oh, I was not fond of the outfit.
I thought it was a little lame for her.
I thought the whole look of her was pretty cheesy.
Outfit at the end.
Oh,
The final
Yes.
I think we have conflicting opinions.
Oh, okay.
No, I did not like her
For the lead
outfit.
half of the movie, I thought her costume was great, and then at the end, I feel like
It's
we
'cause she
got
was
this
wearing a
washed
black
out
dress and
version
her
of
tits
Katy
were out.
Perry.
Oh my
suddenly.
God.
No, I'm saying at the very end, when she has her hair all super permed, and she comes on with this corset now and a jacket half on, it looks way worse than what she was wearing in the first half of the movie, regardless of if it's because her whatever was out. And
I don't know.
Saying.
I like the comic book outfit better.
True. I don't think
She just looked really kind of like 16-year-old like emo girl to me.
Yes, that's what I agree. I was like, ew, what are you
Just
wearing?
came back from the mall, went to Hot Topic, got my hair done, and now I'm gonna shoot like red powers out of my fingers. Like, Do you have a favorite scene?
Oh, when Tony Stark is in the Hulkbuster suit and he's
Yes.
smashing the Hulk's face trying to get him to sleep.
the rapid
yes.
hit.
I know we were just talking about like style over substance, but that was like a scene of style over substance where like I don't even care that like, it's silly and it's over the top.
Yeah.
That was just cool to look at, and that's like what I go to see in these movies. I thought that was awesome.
I like him because he's very, like, I know it's supposed to be a serious film. Every time you do a superhero movie, it's supposed to be very serious and, whatever, action-filled. But I love that Robert Downey Jr. always brings the humor, no matter what.
For sure.
That was
definitely
one of the
Best
funnier
lines.
scenes.
a lot of.
He does a really good job.
Actually, you know what? In this movie, I felt that the Ultron had the best lines. Like they were killer
really?
lines.
But
I'm
was
like, ooh.
We finally got a
acting
really
then?
badass villain.
Yes.
So you liked Ultron because I personally did not. I wasn't a big fan of the villain in this movie.
I don't really feel
Some people
good
disagree with you too. with
saying
that.
that I
I'm sure lots of people
liked
disagree with
Ultron,
that,
but
No, I agree
yeah, I
with
Oh,
you.
enjoyed
agree
it.
with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel, Tia?
I don't think he's a bad character. I don't really have an opinion
just,
on
like-
him. I think he had great lines.
He had
He had great lines, but
phenomenal
as a
lines.
character, he didn't seem very human
know.
to me, which of course
He
he's
wasn't
not
Yeah,
human,
yeah.
but maybe that's what I want from a supervillain. I want someone where I can kind of see where they're coming from, kind of
That's
like,
every villain. You
know-
always need to connect with him in
Yeah.
some way.
And I didn't connect with Ultron at all because he's literally just like technology personified. Obviously, there has been a lot of controversy lately
About Black Widow.
about Black Widow
Yeah.
and her representation and what Joss Whedon has
People
to-
were saying that
yeah,
she was sexist people were saying that he was sexist and they were attacking him on Twitter and then he left Twitter supposedly because of it or not because of
People
it.
think he left because of all the hate he was getting
Yeah.
about his portrayal of how he wrote Black Widow in the film.
My 2 cents is that I just felt her character was a little bit slightly bland
Okay.
because her lines were so dull. They were all about her character's just a badass character. I didn't feel like she was she had amazing, great action points where she was like punching, doing this, doing her thing and everything. But there's moments where I felt like she was so mutterly and she was just like there for the boys and to take care of them.
Yeah.
And there's moments where they had shots of her where they're just like they had to have her lips like this all glistening and a little bit over sexualized in my opinion.
Definitely.
But then again, to
Yeah.
counter that, there's definitely, gorgeous moments where Chris Evans was just like, bam, showing off his, goods and stuff. Not like that, but
But
you know what I mean.
do you consider that? Do you
Chris
consider it
Evans is
sexist?
everything.
No, I don't consider
You
that
don't
sexist
consider
at
it
all.
sexist.
But I just feel like they could have done more with her character. Like, she's such an amazing,
Mm-hmm.
badass character. Why does she have to be limited to basic, boring lines? Like, she's so much more complex and deeper than what I felt they showed her to be in the movie.
From my perspective, I know that she was having trouble finishing filming on the film because she had gone close to the ending of her pregnancy. Probably at the ending where they're pulling both herself and Hulk from the fight.
Yeah.
And then she goes and pushes Dr. Banner and he comes up as Hulk for the last time. I think probably the reason why she's not mostly involved in that action sequence at the end is because she was pregnant and off having her kid.
Which was she? How did they hide her pregnancy? Like what?
Yeah, you see, there's an interesting too. I really wish I knew who the father was right now.
See,
The
were they-
celebrity
were they, like,
for
doing,
Scarlett
like,
Johansson.
CGI.
Like seriously?
They
Really?
definitely
Yeah.
could slim her out.
Wonder.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah, Scarlett Johansson,
She
she's
looks great.
currently on maternity leave. She just had her baby
Okay.
before the Avengers movie came out.
That's mind blowing.
What did you guys think of everything?
Oh, sorry guys, I actually have to leave. But
Okay, Tia. Wait, Tia, before you go, out of 10, what would you rate the movie?
out of 10, I would give it a 7.
7?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Awesome.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
See you later.
Bye, Tia.
We'll miss you.
We'll miss you.
So, without Tia, guys, I feel like there's just a space growing in between us. We should, fill that void as soon as possible.
Scoot over, man. Spider-Man getting one step closer to the Avengers.
Finally!
He's working his way up.
Finally. Yeah, we'll see if Sony can debug this one.
Oh, God.
Okay, so Michelle and Laura, what do you guys think of this whole Black Widow controversy?
I don't know why they're calling it sexist. I don't really see anything sexist about it. A lot of people have said, she's not allowed to get pregnant. That's sexist. You portray her as a sex object and...
I think a lot of it's also she was kind of like a damsel in distress for a large amount of the movie.
Oh, yeah, no, I didn't like that. She's supposed to be, very independent, very hardcore, very, I don't need a man kind of
Yeah.
thing. But,
When you have a man as strong as the Hulk.
Yeah, that's true. I agree. But you know what? I loved her in this movie just because she did show her soft side. And every woman...
See, I like that too.
Every woman is not so strong and independent all the time, Everyone wants a man. Everybody wants to settle down. And that's what she was showing. And you know what? She did want to move on with her life. And that's what she did in real life. She was pregnant during all this. So it's like she was kind of showing her personal side and in the movie. you know,
Yeah.
having a baby in real life, even
I
though I'm
think-
saying I'm not in the movie, and I'm moving on.
I think showing women as, you know, occasionally vulnerable and not always badass isn't sexist. That's just normal.
That's normal.
That's-
And guys,
even if you're a male character or a female character, if you, like, everyone has different sides to each other, and yeah.
Well, yeah, I agree.
Laura, what did you think?
I don't really care about the Black Widow controversy because I compare Black Widow to the historical figure Matahari, who was in the World War. I forget if it's either 1 or 2.
She was a double agent.
Yeah.
And what's her story?
She basically just used her womanly ways and got info.
Let's get away from the controversy and talk about something we could all agree on, and that's how awesome Hawkeye was in this movie.
He nailed it.
Wasn't
Meh.
I was
Really?
so excited in the trailer when I saw his triple arrows coming out
Yeah.
of the fingertips. I thought it was a little tease to Wolverine.
That's
until
what I thought
clued
for a
into the
second too,
fact
yeah.
that
I think
Hawkeye?
he was the exact same as he was in the first movie. No offense, there was just not enough spotlight on him. Now
Exactly,
that there's more spotlight on him, I still think he's the fucking same. He's shooting arrows.
I think he was always the same, but we didn't see enough of him, and now we do.
in the first Avengers movie, despite the fact that he was brainwashed by Loki and whatnot, I felt like he wasn't part of the team at all. I feel like he just showed up with Black Widow as an agent at the ending, just because he had a weapon, and he might as well be another S.H.I.E.L.D. member helping out, right?
Not gonna lie, I totally thought Black Widow and Hawkeye were together because of that necklace.
Yeah.
Totally
Yeah.
thought they were together, and then I
That's where the
realized
comment
But you
they're
know,
best friends.
to learn in this movie that Black Widow's like pretty much a niece and has been keeping a secret for him off the books,
Right.
and then also to learn like, especially in that first scene where you see Hawkeye go down, you really do get that sense once again that this is a guy without powers, with a bow and
Yeah.
arrow, who's maybe the weakest member of the team. But when things really fall apart, he's the only one who doesn't lose grip on his head in this movie. And aside from that, when everyone is falling apart, he's the one who has a space to take them and keep them all held together. If it
He
wasn't
was
for
the glue that
Hawkeye,
held that
if
thing
it wasn't for
together.
Hawkeye, they would have fucking gone crushed by Ultron, without a doubt.
Without a doubt, absolutely.
I thought he was pretty awesome, pretty badass, and it's hard to take a superhero who doesn't have powers and make him seem really cool and badass.
Unless you're Batman.
Unless you're Batman.
And that's
but they just
largely
took this
because of
regular. He was kind of just like a regular guy, and they made him really cool. And
Actually,
in my
no,
heart.
Tony Stark doesn't have any powers either. It's
all
just
right,
suit.
so let's forget about everything I said, and that will make the
Yeah,
cut.
that's not true.
He doesn't have any powers.
If you go looking carefully into comic book content by Marvel, Tony Stark's father made a deal with the Greys from Roswell during the whole aliens coming down in the 50s, and basically the aliens had modified Tony Stark's brain as a baby in his mother's stomach so that he would have an advanced human brain understanding cybernetics and technology. The reason why he can make infinite leaps while sitting in a cave because he needs to and make an arc reactor is because aliens with his brain. He has a superpower you just don't know. Yeah.
There's some new news for me. That's new.
Well-
Call him out on the comments if he's wrong.
I know my
Because I don't
bets.
believe that for a second. I don't believe that.
Okay, guys. Final thoughts. Laura, out of 10, what would you give Age of Ultron?
9.5.
Wow, that's high. You loved it.
Yep.
Oh, now after having this discussion and
Yeah.
actually pinpointing the problems of it and
Oh, we should have done this before.
right,
Okay.
I
Yeah.
should have done it before. But my opinion on it now would be like an 8.5.
Okay. Spidey.
I would say probably an 8. Really amazing film. There's just a little bit of confusion because of all the movies and the magnitude of things going on in the Marvel Universe. And for me, one of the things that loses a few points on is I just don't understand how Quicksilver went from X-Men's Days of Future Past to becoming tied into this film. And if he is Magneto's son, why his sister Scarlet Witch was not mentioned at that point.
I think they're entirely like separate universes, aren't
Yeah,
they?
they were separate
They're,
universes.
yeah.
He still is Quicksilver from X-Men in that
They fair-
universe, though.
They found a loophole to get Quicksilver.
Yes, and by getting Quicksilver and referring to the comic book content, he is still Magneto's son, Quicksilver from X-Men. And it doesn't need to directly line up with that movie, but it makes me wonder why in that movie, especially because at the ending of that movie, they have a clip with Baron Z and Scarlet Witch and him, why Scarlet Witch was not mentioned in that movie at all.
I'm gonna sound like a jerk now because you guys gave so much praise.
Oh, you didn't like it.
I liked it. I liked it. I didn't I think I'd give it like a 6.5.
Yikes!
Which, I mean, I liked it. I liked the action sequences. Like they were well done, obviously, and I liked some of the softer human moments. But when you put them together, it seemed kind of disjointed in the story. I couldn't get into, like I said, the bad guys. I couldn't really. I'm a big fan of Ultron himself.
You're in touch with your emotions.
I'm in touch with my emotions. I'm a sensitive moviegoer. Thank you for watching our review of Avengers: Age of Ultron. Of course, I am Stefan Hicks-Rubel. Big thanks to Laura and Michelle and Spidey, who's actually Peter Parkour.
Toronto Spider-Man. Thanks for having me, guys. Hashtag Peter Parkour.
And of course, big thanks to Tia for stopping by. She was great. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you think of our opinions of what you think of the movie in the comments below. And hit us up on Facebook. We're called The Canadian Nerd, of course. And on Twitter, The Canadian Nerd. That's THA, because we're awesome. And let us know how you feel about the movie and how you feel about Black Widow and everything and how you feel about us. And if you want to see more reviews from The Canadian Nerd and whatever, tell us how your day's going. Check us out. Canadian Nerd. See you next time. Good talks.
Thanks, buddy. Oh, sticky hands.